Hello, folks. It's going to be another short chapter. This is the end of chapter 5. Well, it will be the end of chapter 5. It's a short chapter. I was kind of moving along here. Next week, or the next time you see me, we'll be doing chapter 6. And chapter 6 is going to be called Seeking Love. This was here is the end of Dorrway to Love. Chapter 6 is going to be Seeking Love. I do believe it's what it is. I do believe it's Seeking Love. I do believe. I'll let you know for sure. Seeking Love is next.
It's a pink lightsaber.
That's a pink. That's actually a pink candle that Jacob calls a lightsaber.
Now there's 2 of them. They're sword fighting. You want sword fight?
No.
This boy over here, I tell you what.
Anyway, this is another one of those poems I was doing with the paper. Like I said before, the paper wanted to have seasonal forms. They even had one for St. Patrick's Day. And of course, with me, I have a good amount of Native American and Irish blood in my veins, which is I got most of. Very itty bitty piece of Dutch. There's not very much. My son Isaac, his brother, Jacob's brother, his twin brother, he tried some Mormonism for a little while, and with the Mormon religion, they want you to do a family tree. And he did a family tree, and he gathered our tree all the way back to 1713. And it was cluttered with Cherokee and Irish blood. Cherokee and Irish interbreeding. So we got a lot of Cherokee blood and a lot of Irish blood. And so, for St. Patrick's Day, they wanted me to do a St. Patrick's Day poem for the paper. This is when I was still doing stuff for the paper. Yeah, I like Irish folklore and the leprechaun. And so, keeping with the season, I wrote this poem for the column. Irish Wishful Thinking. I had entitled it only Wishful Thinking, but the editor, she decided to go ahead and put the Irish Wishful Thinking because it made it more pronounced. So, with that being said, she took and put this poem in the paper, and it got pretty good reviews. It got a lot of ratings. A lot of people read it. A lot of people commented on it. Good, mostly positive. Irish Wishful Thinking. As you open the door, the sun's rays blind you. The grass is wet from the morning dew. It's the beginning of spring, everything green and cheerful. You walk through your yard, feeling ever so wonderful. You look down at your feet, you see a clover with 4 leaves. Maybe my luck has finally changed, and you feel completely at ease. You close your eyes to make a wish. Your wish is very bold. You open them up, and there in front of you, a leprechaun with a pot of gold. Wouldn't that be nice?
I want a pot of gold.
I know, right? I think we all like that. I think we'd all like to have a pot of gold to tell you the truth. There's nothing really going on really at this moment. There's just I work a lot. I'm working Wendy's, Cap D's, McDonald's. I jump back and forth from job to job, but like I said, I got a temper. And if someone pissed me off, I said, I don't flip them off and walk out the door, or I find something better to do, and then I go work there. I did a stint when I helped my dad out at a nursery, plant nursery, where they had I had to go through and check the trucks. He wanted me there. I go through check the trucks for radiators, for fluid, and oil, while he put fertilizer and chemical mix into the bigger trucks. So they can go out the next day, do their stuff. I got mad one day. I feel bad about it, but can go back and fix it. Me and my friends and roommates wanted to go hang out at the mall for a little bit, and I just kind of wanted to take the day off. And he wouldn't cooperate. So I said a few harsh words and I left. Of course, not like I said, it's nothing I'm proud of.
Shit happens.
I let my temper get the best of me that day. I wanted some time off. I wanted a little break. And he didn't. When he said he needed me there, so I quit. But,
what job was it again?
Huh?
What job was that?
It was at a plant nursery. No, not a plant nursery, but they fertilized lawns, and it was like a landscaping business. They fertilized lawns and took care of lawns and stuff.
Hey, Dad.
Jacob's being weird again. But, hate to say it, but when you raise somebody in a very agitated way, you've got to expect them to carry that with them. And carry that anger, that frustration, that agitation. As a parent, you have to understand, when you raise a child, they pick up on how you treat them, on how you raise them. They pick it up. And then sometimes it comes back to haunt you. And here with my dad at this plant, as this was one of those instances where it came back to haunt him. And that's happened to my father on a few occasions. The way he raised me as a child, you get haunted sometimes. You get
Sometimes shit happens that you can't forget.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of the word.
Haunt?
Not haunt, necessarily. Not feedback. It's not feedback.
It's just stuck in your
You get backlash. We'll call it that. We'll call it backlash. Whatever you do to somebody, it comes back on you. It kind of backlashes on you.
It's karma.
It's karma. Yeah, that's
if
good.
you do something mean for someone, something's gonna backhand you back.
Or they're going to return the favor, or they're going to do the
or
same.
Someone else is.
Or someone else is. They're going to do the same thing to you that you've done to them. And
it's an equal and opposite reaction.
yeah, it's a chain reaction.
It's a butterfly effect.
Yeah, that is butterfly effect. Remember that.
You do something happens.
Whatever you do to somebody, you best assured
causes them to do something else.
they're going to do this. It's going to come back on you. You do good to somebody,
it comes back and
it'll come back to you in 10 times the amount of goodness. But if you do somebody bad,
Back you in the back.
it come back to you 10 times as bad. That's a fact of nature, and it's a fact that you can't escape from. You can't get away from it. You can't hide from it. You can't. There's no way you're gonna be able to go to get away from it. You can go all the way to freaking Montana or Alaska or the Yukon territory. It's going to find you. So the best thing you want to do is try to do right by everybody you meet. Because you never know when you're going to want someone to do right by you. And that was one of those moments. And he did wrong by me when I was a child. And so I ended up doing wrong by him at this nursery. And, I felt bad about it afterwards. But, we can't go back and change what's happened.
You only fix the consequences.
You only fix the consequences of it. But anyway.
The reaction.
It's a reaction.
You can only fix what happens after.
Yeah. Everybody has a bad side. Everybody has a good side. It's just you have to be more prone to wanting the good side to see, more prone to letting the good side out instead of letting people see the bad side. And that's in a nutshell why I hate people to prey on my anger issues, because it brings out a side of me that I don't care for. I don't love it. I hate it. It disgusts me to have that kind of emotional trauma. It irritates me. It aggravates the hell out of me. I hate it. And I guess in some sense, I hold them accountable for it. So, we're getting back on track here. There's like I said, there's not a whole lot going on. It's just, doing this and doing that, and then working here and working that, riding a bicycle back and forth.
Biggest lake the size of trees.
I used to go on 40-mile bike rides. I used to drive a bike to work. Have a little.
Have you seen a picture of him back in the day? It looks like even you can.
I was freakish.
It looks like someone tied a waistband around his like waist.
Yeah.
And it sucked all the nutrients down to his legs.
My legs were huge. My legs are still huge.
But his arms were literally like little.
My arms are like little twigs back then. They're big now, but they look like twigs back then.
He's evened out now.
I've evened out a little bit. That's a good way to say it. That's a good way to put it.
He's evened out. He's not fat. He's evened out.
I evened out now. But I had a nice 18-speed bike. It was just one of those thick ones, more durable.
What happened to it?
Sold it for $70.
That's cheap nowadays.
Nowadays it's cheap. Back then it was pretty expensive. Today's worth, it'd be about $200 bike or better.
300, I said 350.
300, 350. It'd be an expensive bike now. But I had rearview mirrors on it. I had reflectors. I had a headlight and tail light. I had 2 carrying pouches and two places to put water bottles. And I'd go to work, and I would have my clothes in the bag, and some money, my billfold stuff. And when I get off work, I go to the bottom of the basement or the break room or something and change to my shorts and shirt, and I would stuff my uniform into the carrying pouch, my wallet, and my money, and I would go on a 40 to 50 mile bike ride. I'd go from one town to the next and to the next. I went through like 3 different communities, 3 different towns, riding a bicycle. And on the way back, at the top of my grandma had at the top of the hill, there was an old gas station. This was what I was telling my grandmother. At the bottom of the hill and at the top of the next hill is where my grandmother would stay at. And I would stop at that gas station and I would get a personal pan pizza, a soda, a bag of chips, and this little gas station had a movie rental. Back then we had movie rentals. You don't have movie rentals no more. Back then we did. Had VHS tape. Had the device of the ancients, my son said. Isaac,
That's funny as shit.
his brother. The device of the ancients works. It actually does work.
And then swag
I'm
upside
going
the
to
head.
show you ancient. I'm smack you upside your head.
You did.
I did. I smacked him. Psh, he laughed. Thought it was
We were
funny.
dusting it out because we wanted to play a movie on it.
Yeah.
It's like, it works!
It works.
The device of the ancients.
But that was what I would do. I would, at the end of my bike ride, I would stop there, get my dinner, some movies, go back to the house and sit down, heat my dinner up, go to the room, sit down, had a little table, had a little chair, and have a little TV and VCR. And I would watch my movies, and I would eat my dinner. And the next day, I would do it again.
Yeah, I remember when we were playing that thing. I think blew it off like a fossil.
All right, enough. Okay? It still freaking works, by the way.
Yeah, we still have it.
We still have it. It still
it's
works.
the same one.
Anyway. And moods are like cravings. And sometimes you get into a certain mood, you got to write a poem, but you got to do something with it. If you don't do something with your mood, it's going to drive you nuts. It's like, you want pizza? You want pizza? You want pizza? Your body's telling you you want pizza. So go get you some freaking pizza.
Eat some fucking pizza.
Because your body's going to keep telling you to eat pizza, and nothing is going to satisfy your hunger
Unless
until
pizza.
you eat pizza. It's the same thing with the mood. You have to satisfy your mood cravings. You got to satisfy them. Or somewhat satisfy them. Depending what kind of mood it is. Pay attention here. Depends on what kind of mood it's in. You have to satisfy your mood. And my mood here, I wanted to scare somebody. This poem was nothing about anger. It was nothing about hatred.
We just want to go spooky.
It was nothing about getting back at somebody. It was purely about scaring somebody. I was in the mood to scare somebody. And that's the mood I was in. That's all this poem really has. I mean, it's a good poem. It's creepy. But it's the mood I was in. And so I listened to some music on my headsets, some eerie music, some spooky music, and I created this scene. Then I gathered a title for it. Now the title for this poem is 3 words, 3 letters. D-S-N. Now I've got it in parentheses translated to Dead Silence Nightmare. Like I said, this poem has no bearing on revenge, anger, frustration. It was simply in the mood to scare the shit out of someone. And if you read deep into the movie, it will send chills up and down your spine.
Mm.
I'm going to read the poem to you. Here we go. Push pause for a second. We're going to get into the movie. We're going to get into this poem a little bit. All silent, all quiet. That way I want you to hear it. I want you to hear it word for word. And see if it don't send chills up and down your spine. You are sleeping, but you are sweating. Your eyelids viciously twitching. Inside your mind, something is wrong. Something very, very wrong. There's a body on the floor, and you are backed in a corner. It's coming closer, breathing heavily. It's now just a few inches away. Raising its huge claw in anger, you seem helpless. You can't move. Then it swings and you scream as the picture turns bright red. You raise up slowly on your bed. You begin trying to collect yourself. You are soaked and extremely wet. You're still, quite frankly, shivering. Then before your eyes on the wall, two burning red eyes appear. Again you scream in fear as the echoes bounce around the room. You then wonder to yourself, am I still dreaming? Or is this real? Dead Silence Nightmare. Kitty music. Thank God!
Although I like stabbing things with other things.
But I read that poem. Some people have read that poem. They said they've gotten chills. They felt freaky. They felt a little uneasy. But you know, it's a good point. It's a good point. Like I said, it had no bearing. It's just I was just in the mood to scare the shit out of somebody, and I think I accomplished that. And some people reading the poem and listening to the poem when it's read in its original format, it's pretty creepy. And just to think about it, you just had a nightmare and you're waking up and you're still seeing your nightmare on the wall. Yeah,
That was kind of freaky.
that would be kind of freaky.
Yeah. I happened to JoJo once.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. But it was like half a sleep hallucination kind of thing.
Oh, see, he might have read the poem.
It was like this weird like alien claw thing across the door.
Oh, really? Oh, that's kind of creepy.
He's like, nope.
Now here's one when I was sitting outside in a chair. I'm just sitting in a chair. It's dark. It's clear. And I'm not meditating of anger or anything. I'm just sitting there, just chilling. And I'm watching the stars and everything go by. And I was just wondering what it would like to be Earth, surrounded by space, the planets, and stars, and so on. And the friendship they must have, the relationship they must have with each other.
That's a comic based off of that.
So I created the poem, Night Dream Journey. Just sitting in my chair, looking up at the sky. That's all I was doing. Nothing special. I was just looking at the sky. In my chair, under a quiet night sky, I dreamed I was the great and mighty Earth. Mars, Venus opened their arms to me. The moon in its full glory smiled at me. I caught the streaks of the Milky Way as it wrapped itself around my proud friends, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Mercury, and the asteroid field floated freely by. Bright, shining stars happily welcomed me. I now returned from my night dream journey, my body refreshed and inspired. What do you think, sir?
There's a comic based off of that, by the way.
There's a what?
A comic.
Yeah. Like the music, a little funky beat to it. All right, we're in the process of wrapping up chapter 5 because, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on in the chapter in this segment here. It's just me going back and forth with my grandmother's, and then I went to my dad's old trailer when I was trying to save his trailer. Of course, I had that affair. I remember I'm in the process of having that affair with a married woman I wasn't supposed to have. And of course, I also met Nikki on New Year's. And of course, we, me and Greg and Sherry and Marcia still hung out together. We still go to the mall time to time, the movies, going here, going there, just being ourselves, horsing around. Sometimes you still come over and have sleepovers. Of course, some friends of ours, acquaintances. I don't even remember the names. I really couldn't call them friends. Some like acquaintances. I was in military drill at the time, and they took me out to meet this girl, and basically a one-night stand. That's what it amounted to being. Just with it been a few months. I just need to release some tension. Of course, this was also the next year or two later, I would out the unit. I missed me days. Of course, the unit had to be rebuilt from the bottom up. It was under bad leadership. Half the unit viewed out, missed me days because he didn't do nothing while you were there. The other half transferred to the guard unit that was there. I'm going to find out, like I said, the unit got disbanded. The battalion,
Because of incompetence.
huh?
Because of incompetence.
Incompetence, yeah. Incompetent leadership. It got disbanded and it was rebuilt. Of course, also the affair with a married woman who come into play.
He was a player. Oh.
It lasted a little bit. It was like for 3 or 4 months we had the little affair going. Of course, I finally broke it off because it was starting to get too deep.
Too spicy.
It was getting too spicy. Yeah, there's some threats were going on, going back and forth, going from their direction to mine. If they found out blah 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 was going on, so I said, this is getting too serious. It's time to end this. Of course, come to find out, she ended up pregnant. I don't think it was mine. I don't think it was her because she was having. That's one thing too. They was trying for a baby and she couldn't. They wouldn't have no kid. And of course, a few months after, several months after I broke the affair off, I found out they finally had a baby together. And then again, soon after they had the baby, they got divorced. Well, of course, I don't know what they got divorced about, but it's probably the same thing that she had an affair with me over. It's communication and not enough of a relationship. I guess the kid they had together was instead of bringing them together, it drove a rift even further, and they ended up themselves.
He probably didn't believe it was his.
Yeah. So she had been unfaithful before. What makes you think she was unfaithful? When the kid came. So yeah, there was a lot going on there. I didn't delve in too far into it. I just heard it through the grapevine.
It got too hot.
I heard it through the grapevine that they feel like she ended up having a baby and they ended up getting divorced soon after. So anyway, that happened. My little sister Sherry, she tried to set me up with some friends of hers, but it never materialized. Another relationship, of course, like I said, with the Heather character, lasted about 3 months. That's the one that was playing little mind games with me. She didn't know if she wanted a relationship or not, so that didn't last very long before I got tired of it. Seems to be the norm here. I can't settle into anything. Either these women just want sex, or they want money, or they want out of a situation, and that was their go-to.
They want a distraction.
What he just said. They wanted a distraction. And once they got their distraction and got their excuse to leave or dump,
they didn't want to let go.
They didn't want to let go, so they would dump me, or I would, they would move on. They get what they want out of me, and that'll be it. That'll be the end of it. Basically, I was used on a lot of occasions.
He was the gigolo.
Well, I wouldn't say I was a gigolo. I was used. I was used a lot, and it caused my charismatic personality. I was too nice. But, when I do something, I do it for keeps. I don't do it just for fun. I do it for keeps until it comes to the point where it's not worth keeping. And that was pretty much the situation here. There's nothing worth keeping at the moment in time, and they weren't interested in staying. They just wanted some quick sexual release, and that was about it. And that's all they wanted. That's all they cared about. So, we're fixing to change that soon. And I think we're going to end up either in chapter 6. It's going to change a little bit. We're going to get into a long roller coaster ride of a relationship. And you'll find out about it here in a minute, in the next few episodes.
That one went wild.
This one here, I'm going to read Dorrway to Love to you. That's going to be into chapter 5. We'll wrap up chapter 5 here, Dorrway to Love. Then chapter 6, we'll start Seeking Love. And at the end of chapter 6 is when I met his mother. And that's when we'll start that.
And then I was born.
Then that starts a 14.5-year roller coaster ride of a relationship and a marriage. They ended in an ugly divorce and some hostilities.
But I've finally begun to calm down.
That eventually was reconciled, and we are now friends. But it took a little while to get there after the hostilities. It took a little while to get there, and you'll find out all about that in the next few episodes. But yeah, so we're gonna read Dorrway to Love. And then we're going to get into some real deep part of the story, the marriage, the second marriage. We'll start inching closer to that. And in the meantime, here we go. A lonely young man sitting in a chair, gazing at a lifeless bedroom door, wishing he had someone to love, to hold, and to be with and embrace. Suddenly, his door ripples like a wave. A woman's face protrudes from it. Sweet essence of her perfume fills the air. The young man, startled, comes to his feet. He walks toward the door, reaching out. He touches it and pulls his hand back, wet, as he rubs his fingers together. The woman's hand now extends, beckoning. The young man reaches out for her. Placing his hand in hers, he enters the door. The room becomes an empty shell as the door becomes solid once again. What happened there?
He went through a portal.
He went through a portal. He went with the woman that came through the door. He was seeking love so hard that he followed this woman through the door to an abyss. And that will end this episode in chapter 5. Next week, we will start a double episode of chapter 6. Episodes 24 and 25, I think. I'll have to double check for sure. But anyway, until next time, y'all take care of yourselves and be good to each other.
And have fun with the solar eclipse.
Yeah, we got a solar eclipse coming up Monday.
Hopefully the world doesn't end.
Hopefully the world don't end. Anyway, peace out.
Peace.